I'm back again. I'm going to be doing something slightly different for this week's vlog because I'm going to be answering some questions that have been sent to me. Anyway. This one is from Paul Jenkins, who asks what my favourite Doctor Who quote is. Certainly plenty to choose from here, but I think that I'm going to have to go with one by my favourite Doctor, which is the First Doctor, and I think it just sums things up pretty well. Our lives are important, at least to us, and as we see, so we learn. Our destiny is in the stars, so let's go and search for it. The next one is from Jesper Panda, and the question is, what made you watch Doctor Who to start with? I guess the answer to this one would be my dad. I can remember watching it with him as a quite small child. I'm not sure exactly how old I was, but I know that the first Doctor that I saw in action was the Fourth Doctor. And I remember thinking that he was brilliant, this sort of larger-than-life, vibrant character. Although it often did scare me back then. Although, of course, my real addiction didn't start till some time after that. Next up is a question from Vivian, which is, what do you think is the best moment of the Ponds? Again, this is quite a difficult one. They had a lot of brilliant scenes together. I think, though, for me, it would have to be the scene from The Girl Who Waited, when Rory has to leave the older Amy behind. I think it was a very genuinely heartbreaking and emotional scene. It was played brilliantly by both actors, and for me, it's definitely the one that stands out. And next is a question from Jason Hicks. Which was the most memorable regeneration for you? This is actually quite a tough question. I did have to give this some thought, but I think I'm going to have to go with the regeneration of the third Doctor, who died from radiation poisoning. Of course, this could be somewhat a biased view because he is one of my all-time favourite Doctors, but that would probably be the case with anybody when it comes to the favourite scenes. It's definitely for me the one that sticks in my mind. It was very sad and moving. It was actually a very simple and understated scene, and yet it was really effective. And I think out of all the regenerations, for some reason for me, this is the one that really felt like a death. And it really left me feeling the effects of it for some time. Okay, here's one from Jessica Crosby, which is, what do you think of the new TARDIS console? I actually really like it. It is a massive change from the last couple of consoles, obviously. It's certainly got more influence from the classic era, which is not a bad thing. It feels particularly reminiscent of the Fifth Doctor era for me. It appears much sleeker and much less cluttered. It still has a slightly more sci-fi look, I suppose you could say. It does make me wonder, however, how exactly the Doctor achieved this, because with the last two consoles, they appeared quite thrown together, like there was a lot of random spare parts that had been used. And in some ways this kind of makes sense. If this is the last TARDIS, it stands to reason that obviously the parts may be fairly hard to come by, and you may have to make do. But still, all in all, I like it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more of it. Okay, and one by Eddie Williams, which is, what would you most like to see in Doctor Who? It's quite a wide question. I'm assuming that it would mean what I would like to see on screen. For me, I'm going to have to go with the Time War. And I know I've said this before, but it just feels like this huge gap in the Doctor's story because it was such a huge event in his life that I'd really like to see some more and learn more about it. Of course, this will be quite difficult now. We've gone through several Doctors since the Time War happened, but it's not impossible. If anything, maybe it would be good to see it in some kind of flashbacks, or just some further insight into the events that happened from the Doctor himself. But who knows, it may still happen. Right, I'm going to leave it for now because I've got quite a few questions and I don't want it to go on for too long, but I will do some more in another vlog. But also coming up, starting from next week, I'm going to be doing 11 separate vlogs focusing on each of the individual Doctors. This will be as well as the reviews that I will of course be doing soon, starting again on the 30th of March. So that's it for now. I shall see you all next week. Goodbye.